Welcome to Locker Talk episode 29, the show everything WWE past, present, and future. I am your host, Colton, and returning by my side, my co-host, the main event, Matt. Matt, it's great to have you back.
I've missed you all. It's been fun.
Yes, if you weren't sure, the big return that I've been tweeting about over the past few days is not any person who might be returning. It's obviously a much bigger, more important return, and that is the return of the main event. So we've just gotten through Hell in a Cell, as I continue to get more tweets on the fact. So we are here to give you our thoughts on Hell in a Cell 2015. And so I know you're excited to hear my thoughts. I know you're really excited to hear Matt's thoughts, since you haven't done that in a while. But first, we've sent out a tweet asking people what they thought on the show, and so I'm going to read off those tweets first. And so thank you to everyone who sent us in tweets on their thoughts on Hell in a Cell. So our first tweet comes from, they are at WC9293 on Twitter. I do not know any better way to say that. Who said, "This was the worst pay-per-view since before WrestleMania for sure. Matches were boring and predictable. Only the last match and the Wyatt ending was good." So thank you to you, sir. I believe the picture is a man, although it's a Toronto Blue Jays player, so it could be anything. Either way, thank you very much for your tweet. Our next tweet comes from Kyle Bubb, and that is at Kyle Bubb with two B's on the end. Make sure you give him a follow on Twitter. Always appreciates all the fun stuff we do on Twitter. And he says, "I am so happy with the Wyatt family ending. Perfect. Succinct and to the point." And last, but certainly not least, from our good friend, Steven Cyril, has a fantastic wrestling website, letstalkwwe.com. And Steven has, as always, chimed in his thoughts on the show, and so I'm just going to read them off to you here. He's got quite a few, so thank you, Steven. He says he is angered by Taker's loss, but optimistic about the Taker-Wyatt story continuing because it's something I was invested in. Parts of Hell in a Cell simply didn't seem well thought through. The WWE title match and main event felt underwhelming. The six guys on the pre-show demonstrated why they belong on the main show, one of the best overall performances. At times, I was genuinely concerned when the Divas performed that top rope spot, and glad they're okay. Why is Paige not assaulting Charlotte? Oh, there's another tweet. Why is Paige not attacking Charlotte? Divas performed that... Sorry, I'm trying to... Why was Paige not... I'm sorry. Okay, Steven, stop retweeting all my tweets. I'm trying to read out your tweets on the show. It's messing me up. What happened with the momentum there? Finally, got it through. After all that build, how could they drop the ball of Kane's character here? Lies down to a pedigree. Okay, we got them all there, so thank you to all three of you for sending in your tweets on the show, on Hell in a Cell. It is much appreciated. We always love to hear from our thousands and thousands of adoring fans. So, I'm going to shut up, and I'm going to let Matt discuss his thoughts on the pre-match show of Sheamus, King Barrett, and Rusev against Dolph Ziggler, Cesaro, and the man that creative forgot, Neville. Go ahead, Matt.
I'll be completely honest here with this match. I took about a 2-hour nap before Hell in a Cell, and this was a match I missed. I do, however, know it was 11 minutes and 38 seconds, which was longer than about 3 matches on the main show. So if that tells you anything, it tells you that was a pretty good match. I know all 6 of these guys should have been on the main show after watching the main show. That's what I do know.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed this match. I thought a lot of fun spots. The crowd was really into it. The crowd was really into it. They were huge on Cesaro. There was a lot of Cesaro chants even when he wasn't in the ring. I feel like we've been getting, and I feel like everyone's thinking that we've been getting a lot of 6-man tag matches lately, and it's definitely getting overdone a lot. But I think this match showed how to make a 6-man tag work and how to make it a lot of fun. Like you just said, all 6 of those guys, and like Steven said, they proved why they should be on the main show. They're all super talented guys who deserve, I think, a lot more than just a pre-show match. But they went out there, they made the best of their minutes, and they put on a heck of a match. So it was really fun to see. It's always fun to see a Red Arrow, so I'm never going to complain about that. It's always fun to see Cesaro and Ziggler. Rusev was there, and Barrett was there, and Sheamus was really there. But anyway, yeah, so pre-match show, great. And so we learned during the pre-show that John Cena was going to start off the night with his US Open challenge, and rumors were swirling through the internet on who was going to accept this challenge. Was it going to be Tyler Breeze? Was it going to be Finn Balor? Was it going to be Samoa Joe? Was it going to be Ziggler, Cesaro, Matt? Who was it going to be? And it turns out it's Zeb Coulter. Well, not exactly, but Zeb Coulter comes out, which I was really, really excited to see. I enjoy Zeb Coulter's promos. I'm a little disappointed we're not going to get the whole racist, patriotic America promos from Zeb anymore, because he obviously went the opposite direction with that. But we see Alberto Del Rio make his comeback to Raw. Blows your mind, right?
Yes.
And so Matt, I know you and I kind of had similar thoughts and reactions to this. So what did you think? One, about the fact that it was Del Rio coming back, and 2, what did you think about the match?
It blew my mind. I thought he went on to, if I'm not mistaken, Lucha Underground as Alberto El Patron, and I thought he was doing pretty well there for himself. And if it's one thing we've seen from WWE, they don't really like to bring back people if they fired them so much. And he did a pretty heinous act for what he was fired for. I mean, granted, the guy was making racial slurs, but you don't attack someone backstage for that. It was just crazy to see Alberto Del Rio come out. I don't like him personally. I never really liked him. I never liked his style. He's a technical wrestler. He's a good technical wrestler. And I'm pretty sure WWE brought him back because they don't have a gateway to the Mexican community for wrestling. That was Rey Mysterio's job, but obviously he's gone. He's not coming back. So they brought him back for that. The match was short, under 10 minutes. And for a U.S. title open challenge on a pay-per-view, you'd think this would be a top 3 match on the card. And it was just disappointing. It seemed planned out, like they planned it weeks in advance. This move's going to take this place. Okay, at 3 minutes, 47 seconds, you're going to punch him here. It was disappointing. John was slow, sluggish. I don't know what he has planned for the next 2 months, but obviously his mind was on that. Whatever problem he's going to face with his family, personal life, we don't know. It's none of our business, really. Alberto Del Rio, he almost looked like he had some ring rust on him, which is weird because he's been wrestling in another promotion. But who knows? Maybe Zeb Coulter and Del Rio will take this in a fun new way.
Yeah, I agree. I've never been a fan of Alberto Del Rio. I made kind of a joke to myself that Ziggler needs to watch out, because now there's 2 guys on the roster who have given him concussions, and the other obviously being Sheamus. But yeah, I've never really been a fan of Ziggler that was really wrong. I've never been a fan of Del Rio as a character or as a wrestler or just as a person. I'm not a fan of his. I've never really liked his work. And so to me, this was really disappointing. I was really hoping for anybody but you. Heath Slater, maybe. I mean, hit Slater's music, whatever. But it wouldn't have been as bad to me, but I thought that this match was horrible. It was weird in the fact that it was essentially a squash match. Like, John Cena lost a squash match in WWE. That just doesn't happen. And so on one hand, that's kind of an amazing thing, just the fact that we don't ever see that. But it was not believable at all to me. Cena lost to one kick, and he was out and got pinned clean, which was crazy. The last time Cena lost clean, which is kind of hard to think about it doesn't happen very often, but it was to Kevin Owens, and they put on a fantastic match. And he just gets squashed in this match, and it didn't seem believable to me. We've seen Cena kick out of any possible maneuver you can think of. I mean, that's his whole thing anymore. He's Super Cena. He's Superman. You can't beat Cena. But one kick from Del Rio and Cena's out. And I mean, Cena just beat the WWE World Heavyweight Champion twice cleanly, and now he's just getting squashed by Alberto Del Rio. So this doesn't make any sense to me. And even later in the night, Rollins kicks Kane about in the same way that Del Rio kicks Cena, but he kicks him twice, and that doesn't end the match. So it's just questionable looking to me. Like, it might just be that I don't like Del Rio. If it was somebody else, I probably wouldn't have had a problem with it. But Cena is obviously going away for a while to do whatever it is that little John Cena's do. I'm sure we can rule out getting married. That's definitely not a thing he's going to do. Sorry, Nikki. But we'll have to see. And so that leads us into the first Hell in a Cell match of the night. And I was surprised that this match went on early. But it was a fantastic match. Bray Wyatt against Roman Reigns, in which what I thought was the match of the night. I really liked everything about this match. It was a hard-hitting match. There were a lot of cool spots. They were able to do innovative things with the Hell in a Cell that we haven't seen before. And really, they didn't need the Hell in a Cell. I feel like neither of the Hell in a Cell matches tonight needed the cell. The cell wasn't really used that much. But the hardcore elements of both matches were used really well. And so just like the kendo sticks being put into the cage and into the ring ropes, and the chair being stuck out from the cage, and those were really cool spots. And Bray and Roman have a lot of chemistry together. And so I think of all the people out there who hate Roman Reigns, I think they'll have a hard time defending their position after tonight, because he put on a fantastic match. And Bray put on a fantastic match. I feel like Hell in a Cell is kind of Bray's match. It just, that kind of a style of match just seems to fit really well into Bray Wyatt's character. And so I really enjoyed that. It seems that this is over now, but maybe not after things that happened later, but we'll get to that. So Matt, I know you're fans of these guys, so what did you think about the first Hell in a Cell match of the night?
Well, it clocked in 23 minutes and 8 seconds. The longest match of the night by over 5
aren't you?
minutes. I am. It was a long match. It was a great match, in my opinion. I liked the cell, but I'm kind of jaded that neither of the cell matches, and this one was obviously the only one it would have really worked with, they went outside of the cell. And you always like to see that happen. You just like to see the entire arena used. But they did a great job in the PG era of using weapons, using chairs. You don't see it often. 3 tables were used. It was great because Roman Reigns wasn't used as just a powerhouse of just, throw him around, spear him, Superman punch him, this, that. They did great at, okay, Roman, you're going to take 5 minutes, you're going to beat him up. Then you're going to slowly turn it around. Wyatt, you're going to take it. You're going to beat him up for about 5 minutes. They did a great job at selling all the moves. There was a few spots where that Sister Abigail that Wyatt hit, that was a ferocious Sister Abigail. Just kicks him, boom, right in the Sister Abigail. It was great to watch that. I didn't like the end, however, how Roman just kind of hits him, spears him, and then pins him. I would like to see a more build up, maybe more of a beat down from Roman, just beating down a little more, setting up the spear a little better, not just off the rope spear him. Other than that, I mean, it was nice. I like to see the kendo sticks. I like to see the double kendo sticks when Roman was following him with the 2 kendo sticks. That was a great spot. It really showed Roman's just frustration with the whole situation, and he was done with it. He didn't want any more of the situation. He didn't want any more Wyatt. I liked how Ambrose stayed out of it. I liked how the Wyatt family stayed out of it. So that was nice. Overall, that was probably the best match of the night, in my opinion.
Yeah, I thought that match showed it showed how you can do like a hardcore style match in a PG era without having to, do all those brutal chair shots and draw blood and all this stuff. I thought they did a really good job of using that. Obviously, that kind of just flew out the window later, but once again, we will get to that. And so, as you just said,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. As you just said, 3 tables were destroyed in this match. And so the next match being the New Day and the Dudleys. The Dudleys are obviously at a disadvantage here with a lack of tables under the ring. And so I think that the Dudleys can blame this loss on Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns. That's just me, but I saw on Twitter a lot of people were surprised that New Day retained. I personally wasn't. I think that they need to keep the titles on them for a little longer. I don't think that New Day needs the titles, but at the same time, it's, as we've said before, anything they touch is gold. They're making unicorns and wrestling be a thing that happens and be a really cool thing that happens. And so, no Xavier Woods, which is sad, but we had the essence of Woods in his trombone, which I noticed your fiance was tweeting about that, and so I must say I was really proud of some of the tweets I saw from her tonight. So I commend you on that aspect of your relationship. So
she watched the whole thing with me.
Yeah, so that was really cool. This was a good match. The New Day and the Dudleys, they always put on a good match. The crowd didn't seem to be into the Dudleys as much as they have been, and I think this was more of a heel crowd there. The heels got some good cheers. Owens got some good cheers, and et cetera, things like that. Rollins got a good cheer when he came out as well. And so, sadly, no Xavier Woods, but I assume he'll be back, because apparently he was off getting married. So, sorry, Cena, but Xavier Woods beat you to it. Anyway, so I'm done rambling. Matt, what did you think about this tag team match? Do you think that it maybe needed a stipulation? Do you think it maybe should have been a tables match? Because that seemed to be what they were kind of building it up to, and then it was just a regular match.
I feel like they didn't, when they were playing this pay-per-view, they were like, all right, 2 cell matches, that's enough. They'll definitely need it in the next pay-per-view to boost it up, because this pay-per-view was such a dud. But it was just hysterical. As soon as they come out, raise your unicorn horns to the sky, and the trombone. It was fantastic. It was amazing to watch those guys come out. I don't personally like the Dudley Boys anymore. I think they're slower, just like all the old guys that come in. I know I texted you about Rhino earlier. I mean, they're a little better than most of the old guys because they still have some moves, but I mean, I like New Day against other people. I would have loved this match more if it was New Day versus Enzo and Big Cass, or I mean, just basically any other person on the main roster. The Dudleys are kind of boring to watch nowadays. It was a good match. I liked the referee spots where Kofi tosses the trombone and pretends to be hits. Referee decides, oh, should I not? And it was a good match. I was surprised when New Day retained, honestly. I thought without their third member, they were going to lose because they normally cheat. The Dudleys don't take it this time, but sadly they probably will within the next month and a half. Right now, the New Day is the hottest thing WWE's got, in my opinion. They're money makers.
Yeah, definitely. They're now even moving New Day into like the main event spot. So like they your big baby faces will will have a main event match against the New Day. And so that's where I kind of thought that they might drop the titles just because maybe WWE has something else planned for them to put them in more of a main event spotlight. But yeah, you're right. Love the Eddie Guerrero tribute there by Kofi Kingston. Like you said, that was really, really cool. Trying to sneak a win out there. But yeah, really, really good match. I obviously enjoy the New Day. We all know this. But so we move on to that. Next match, Divas title rematch, Charlotte, Nikki Bella. Matt, what are your thoughts?
I'm conflicted on it. I know a lot of people would say, "Oh, it's great." A lot of people say, "Oh, it could use work." Charlotte was good. I liked how Nikki came out just fighting right out of the bat. That was probably my favorite part of the whole thing because everyone just like down tossed the Bellas all the time, and rightfully so. But Nikki has some moves. She can hang with them a little bit, and she just came out fighting, just beating Charlotte up. There was some moves where just right off the ropes and then back to the knees. That was good spots. There was a lot of good spots in it. Charlotte got it the win from tap out, but I would have loved to see a pin. I would love to see Charlotte win via pin, just knock her out, pin her. We've seen the tap. It was just nice to see, all right, you won the championship by pin or submission. Now you retained it by pin. That would have been a complete domination over Nikki Bella. But we get double submission, which isn't bad because that's her finishing move. We just can't wait to see Charlotte versus Sasha Banks, I guess. That's what we're all waiting for.
Damn straight.
Anything less is a letdown right now.
That's true. It's not, Bayley and Sasha Banks, they set the bar so high. We're going to be let down by every match regardless. And I kind of agree with you. I thought the match was good. I thought Nikki Bella she's looked better in just even the past month than she has in the past. And I think that's the new divas coming up, the Charlotte, the Sasha Banks, the Becky Lynch, making her be an actual wrestler and use actual wrestling moves. And so it was good, but at the same time, there were a few spots that I thought were a little bit sloppy, like that spot on the top rope. It took a little bit of time to set up. It looks really weird and awkward and not PG at all. But if you don't understand that, it's good. You don't need to. But the Alabama slam on the apron, while it's a cool thought, I think it's maybe a little too dangerous of a move for Nikki Bella to be executing. And I thought that she didn't hit it the best. She hit it a little bit too high, I think. I think you maybe want to try to get that more on the back end. So I think that might have been a move that was maybe a little bit too dangerous to be attempting. But, it's better. It's not as great as it could be, but it's a lot better than what it has been. So I guess we'll just have to take that with a grain of salt and just move on. And hopefully they move on to Sasha Banks, like you said. Multiple, we want Sasha chants going on during the match. So obviously that's what the people want. And regardless of what people say, WWE does tend to give people what they want. So I think we'll be seeing that in the near future. I could have swore I just heard like a tugboat or something, which is weird because I'm nowhere near water. Anywho, sorry about that. Maybe I'm hearing things. I have voices in my head. I'm basically turning into Randy Orton, so watch out. Okay, next match was the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. Seth Rollins against Kane. If Demon Kane loses the match, then Corporate Kane is no longer Director of Operations. And so, I really liked the build up to this match. I really liked Kane's kind of bipolar character that they've been setting up. I know not everybody liked it, but I thought it was at least entertaining and pretty humorous on Kane's part. And so this wasn't a great match. It wasn't a bad match. They did some cool stuff. It's about what I expected from the match. You obviously weren't going to get a 5-star match out of Kane at his age, and that's not his his fault. He's just an older, bigger guy. And so, but I still think that they had a good match. Seth Rollins got a clean win, which is his second clean win in a row, which is kind of amazing because they seem to never have Seth Rollins win clean. And I think he desperately needed a clean win this time. And so I'm really, really excited for that. I'm interested to see where Rollins goes from here, who he defends against next. So it could be interesting. Matt, what do you think on the match? What do you think Rollins has in his future? What do we think Kane has in his future? He's not director of operations anymore, so he has to do something.
I think one half of the dads, as RTM likes to call him, Kane, I think he did a good job. I think I was the only person in the world rooting for Kane to actually take the title from Rollins because I'm just so sick of seeing Rollins champion. They're not doing anything with it. I want to see a high-profile champion, so I want to see Kane take it. And someone else take it from Kane probably like next week after that. It was a good match. I mean, Kane, at his age, definitely gave it a good performance. Seth sold some moves. Kane seemed to be agile. I have no idea what's coming from Kane now. I think he retires outright in this position. I think he's ready to join the Hall of Fame. And Undertaker's going to follow soon. Maybe he's going to move down to NXT, work with trainers there. But I highly doubt it since he's given so much to WWE over the years. Whether people like it or not, him and Big Show have been some of the most consistent performers week in and week out for, the past 15 years. So, we chanted thank you Undertaker, but we really should have been chanting thank you Kane. Because that was the last match we'll probably see Kane in.
Yeah, it was good. I was impressed. I thought Kane looked good. And if this doesn't work, I'm pretty sure he has a job in dentistry, so I'm pretty sure Kane's going to be fine. We don't need to worry about him too much. So the kind of bad spot of the match before the main event, fell to Kevin Owens and Ryback. Oy vey. Whoo-wee. You and I, we texted each other on this one, and I feel like we definitely had the same thoughts on this one. There was something off about this match for me. I don't really know what it was. I don't know if it was Ryback. I'm fairly certain it wasn't Kevin Owens because I don't think it's possible for Kevin Owens to contribute to a bad match. But this just wasn't a great match, and for me, I really dislike the Del Rio Cena match, but if it wasn't for that match, for me, this match would easily be the worst one on the card, which is a scary thought when Kevin Owens is involved, when the WWE is already kind of iffy on their thoughts on Kevin Owens. But yeah, it just seemed that there was something off about this match. I mean, I'd be quick to blame Ryback for it, and I don't really want to do that because I think Ryback has improved a lot, and I've really liked his character and his wrestling in the past few weeks and months. But there was just something off about this match. I really don't know what it was. Do you think you can pinpoint something that just seemed a little bit weird about this one?
Well, I'll tell you what. This was actually about 2.5 minutes shorter than the Cena Del Rio match, which is surprising. Only coming in at 5 minutes on this one. And I agree with RTM. I was listening to them earlier in the week. They were talking about how Owens could lose this match, drop the title. Nothing bad would happen to Owens. Ryback loses, however. Where does he go from this match now? Where are we going to see him tomorrow? He's going to be nowhere. They're going to replace him in that 6-man tag match in the Dark Show. I feel like WWE is too many people right now lost in limbo storylands for them to be having a 3-hour show on Raw and SmackDown. I know Triple H once said on the Stone Cold podcast that 3 hours, it's kind of hard to fit everything in 3 hours. Well, if you're saying it's hard to fit in, why aren't these guys having storylines? Why aren't these guys having matches? Why aren't these guys getting meaningful places in pay-per-views if we have 3 hours every single week on Monday? And I believe SmackDown's only 2 hours still, right? Yeah, 2 hours on SmackDown. These people should be getting storylines. And as for the Owens-Ryback match, it falls in that place too. I mean, both of them looked tired almost, like they had just wrestled an Iron Man match the night before. I don't know what happens. I don't know if one of them did something while working out, so they still had to wrestle, so it was just an easy match. All of these could be factors to it. I mean, they both, like you said, Ryback improved. Owens is always really good. This rivalry just lacked to me. Owens needs to do something else. Hopefully, we get a push from the Lunatic Fringe, because Owens Ambrose seems pretty cool.
That would be really cool. I would definitely love to see that match. Sorry, reading tweets. Anywho, so this leads us to the last match of the night. The Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar, Hell in a Cell. Apparently it was supposed to be like 2007 Undertaker because they kept using the picture of him with long hair, which I don't understand why. I can only think the only thing that they would do that for is to try to make this more believable and to use a younger picture of The Undertaker to maybe trick people into thinking that this is going to be a competitive, hellacious bout, which it was, but to me, I didn't care about this match. I didn't care who won, who lost. This wasn't a match about wins and losses for me because I feel like neither of these guys has anything to prove at this point. To me, it was just keeping Undertaker safe in a Hell in a Cell match against Brock Lesnar. And I don't know how that's possible. It seems that he's okay, okay. But there's just this big thing where the match between Seth Rollins and Sting, where Sting got pretty beat up, and they were wondering did they maybe push Sting too far, and this is no offense to Seth Rollins, but a match with Seth Rollins is nothing compared to a match with Brock Lesnar and Hell in a Cell, and it definitely worried me. Like I had legitimate fears that like the Undertaker might like physically hurt himself and be permanently injured from this match. And so I think they got through it without him having any issues. At least it didn't look like he had any issues outwardly. And so early in this match, we get Lesnar doing his thing where he purposely lets himself run into the ring post, and it cuts him open every time. And so he's obviously doing this on purpose at this point because he did it at the last show as well. And so the whole color thing is just completely gone at this point. Lesnar's bleeding, Undertaker's bleeding, and I thought that was an interesting choice. I kind of thought they might go that way since they're trying to build this up as the last match, the biggest match of these two. And so they would, even up the stakes and allow them to do that for this match. Which I thought was cool, and I thought it was a good match. It was definitely a hard-hitting match. A lot of people were saying this might be match of the year, which I don't agree with at all. I don't think it was even match of the night. It was cool to see. They did a lot of stuff. I think that this is more of just people being involved in like Attitude Era Mania, where they want hardcore matches every week and they want people to bleed all the time. And that's just not something that can realistically happen. I mean, it's nice to think about, but that's what the WWE Network's there for. We have every episode of Raw from the Attitude Era. You have every pay-per-view to go back and watch. So, to just me, I say go back and get your fill of that way. But I thought that they had a good performance. Lesnar won. I assumed Lesnar would win. Doesn't mean I like it. I, as you know, don't like Lesnar. I don't like Lesnar winning. Blah, 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 blah. But yeah, I'm not going to ramble anymore. Matt, what did you think about this? And then we'll get into the post-match a little bit later.
It was a first for me, actually. I've seen the ring fall apart. I've never seen someone tear open the canvas part of the ring, pull it apart, and then pull the cushion off to expose the wood inside the ring. That to me was probably the coolest spot, and I just, for the sole purpose, I've never seen it before. So that was interesting. I feel like Undertaker came out good. They came out brawling with each other. Obviously, I said earlier that Lesnar needed to learn how to take a few bumps. He's bad at taking bumps, but he sold it pretty decently. My favorite bump that he took was actually after the match when he was walking back up the ramp and he fell. That to me actually sold it. Like, okay, maybe he's a little tired, you know? Like maybe he did.
Heyman screaming, no, get up. Yeah.
Yeah, like that was probably the best bump of the night that he took, and it was after the match. That's weird. If they wanted to end it, because I feel like this takes away from Undertaker's legacy, losing to Brock Lesnar like this, they should have ended it in a double KO. Something happens where Undertaker hits the tombstone, Lesnar gets up, like as you said, like flipping the bird, something like that, F5 him, and Lesnar's out at that point. Undertaker's out. They're both out in the middle of the ring. It's destroyed. That would have been an amazing ending. As for the ending when the Wyatts came out, half of me was actually rooting for Lesnar to come back out, take out the Wyatts, and then shake Lesnar's hand. I feel like that would have been an amazing retirement right then and there. Just Lesnar take out the Wyatts, have Taker, whatever, Bray Wyatt, and then shake the hand. That would have been great. Also, I don't know if part of me doesn't know if Taker's okay because they did carry him out. I felt like Taker was very appreciative of that. He didn't have to walk all the way back up the ramp. Where's Zeb Coulter in his Segway when you need him?
Which he stole from John Laurinaitis, by the way. But yeah, what you said about tearing the ring apart, I really like that. I can only think of the one time when I've seen the ring be torn apart is when the Nexus came and beat up John Cena.
Oh yeah.
And I think CM Punk. They didn't do anything in the ring. They just kind of tore it up. But like what you said with the pad, like you see them tear off the pad, but that is a tiny, thin pad. Mm-hmm. Like, like people say wrestling is fake, and yes, it is padded, but that's not much of a pad. That's, it's just like a sheet of paper thick. And so I think that, if you kind of look at it like, wow, they're taking legitimate bumps, and I'm like, oh, I can take a hip toss. I mean, I would take one hip toss and be crawling around on the ground moaning for the next 2 hours. And so yeah, after the match, when Bray Wyatt's sort of thing hits, I'm like, oh, they're doing Wyatt and Undertaker again. We've already seen this at WrestleMania. They already blew over it like it never happened when they reignited the Lesnar-Taker feud. And so I wasn't really sure about that, but I did like the way that they carried him out. They carried him out kind of like on a cross, which is very apropos with the Undertaker character. It kind of reminds me of when the Undertaker used to strap people to crosses just because that was an okay thing to do back then. With the likes of Stone Cold and Stephanie McMahon. But I thought it was kind of a cool thing to do. At the end, I'm interested to see what they're doing with it now. I think they officially announced that Undertaker's going to be at Survivor Series, which would lead me to believe that he's going to have some tag team partners in a match against the Wyatts. And just if I'm spitballing off the top of my head, I would assume Kane would probably be another partner. And if they have nothing better for them, Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, probably stick them with the Wyatts again for another month. And so I'm interested to see where that goes. But like I said, I wasn't 100% sold on the whole Wyatt Undertaker thing again. So that's the whole show. Matt, do you have any last thoughts on the show as a whole?
I'm just stumped as to who the pair Taker with. I agree Reigns should probably catapult into the title picture now.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't really like to see him with them again. Other than that, there's no one really to go along with this. I would have really loved to see Bray Wyatt implode on his family and go it alone. Kind of blame them for the loss that he took to Roman Reigns. Other than that, I'm really confused as to why Rowan was there on Monday and Harper wasn't, and then both of them are there on Sunday. We need answers, WWE. Where are these people going?
Yeah, I heard on one of those lovely wrestling websites that Harper was dealing with some family issues or some personal issues. He wasn't there for the show, which a lot of people were speculating about. Um, I think it was Chris Jericho posted a picture on Instagram of a bunch of wrestlers wearing a Luke Harper t-shirt and all supporting Luke Harper. So some people thought that there was some heat on Harper for that, and that's why he was gone. But apparently he was just having some family issues or something of that sort. Well, what I really thought was weird how they go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I just thought it was interesting how Rowan came back and like, oh, I guess he's here now. Where's Luke Harper? I don't know, but Eric Rowan's here, I guess. Okay, cool. So yeah, this is happening. They just were really, really weird about it. Like there was no announcement. It was just there, and I have no idea. It was.
Well, also the Wyatts now have 4 members. In Survivor Series, it's 5-on-5. So who's going to be the Wyatts' 5th member? I mean, one could only hope Bo Dallas is there.
Hey, Bo Dallas said that he was going to answer the U.S. Open Challenge tonight, and he wasn't there, so I'm a little bit upset. But if we get Bo Dallas at Survivor Series, I think I'll recover. And so with that, I think we're done. I don't have anything else to add. Make sure you join us next week, because next week we have a very special episode, a 30th episode of Locker Talk, where we are going to discuss our thoughts on who should be the face of the company. 2 guys who aren't even really here right now, Randy Orton or John Cena. And for the low, low price of free, we're also going to throw in our thoughts on the greatest ladder matches of all time. Not the ones that you always think of, but maybe some that you forgot about. So we're going to give you that all for a very low, low, low price of absolutely free right here on WWE Locker Talk. Matt, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
That is an extremely cheap price. You don't want to miss out on this episode. We have been quarreling about it for a very long time. We have notes, stacks of notes. It's going to be a heated debate.
Yes, that it will. And so, this has been WWE Locker Talk episode 29. I am Colton. That is Matt. We leave you with our hashtag of the week. So, hashtag we want Sasha.